He is from ESPN, Mike Breen. How are you, Mike?
Good, Rich. I think you can phrase it the perplexing Eastern Conference Finals.
I can't make heads or tails. I have no idea what's happening. Do you?
It's the I don't think I've ever seen a disparity in a good team in their performances home and road and with their star players. I don't know if I've ever seen a star player in the playoffs have these feast or famine type performances. It really is. It's crazy, and it would not shock me in the least to see Toronto come back after that beatdown and win and tie it up.
I mean, what was it like having a front row seat for a beatdown like that in a game as big as Game 5 of this conference finals, Mike?
It was so impressive early, and the crazy thing, Rich, is that as much as I think they scored 116. The Cavaliers and shot like 57%. The most impressive part of their performance was their defense. I mean, they just completely smothered them. And you rarely say this. The game was over midway through the second. I mean, it was over because you knew that Toronto just they got knocked down and they were woozy. They couldn't get back up. So it was so impressive. But then it's just to have a big game that you're all pumped up about and it go like that. At one point, I think I said in the fourth quarter to Mark Jackson, yes, Sanford and Son was a great TV show. That's how bad it got. That's the kind of conversation we were having in the fourth quarter because it was such a blowout.
You were one step away from mentioning Rollo in the first time in the history of the Eastern Conference Finals. Yeah, I mean, I heard that conversation. Let's put aside the Eastern Conference game that you're calling tonight with Mark Jackson and Jeff Van Gundy for a moment because the 73-win Warriors team is not going gently. The fact that they'd potentially be going at all, anywhere other than the NBA Finals, is shocking. It just seems that the Thunder has their number, has them off kilter in a way that we have not seen a team consistently put Golden State off kilter. What does it look like to you, Mike?
I'm going to go to defense again, and not last night, but the two games prior. I can't ever remember watching a Warriors team really in the last 2 years and saying, boy, they're having a tough time getting a good shot off. I mean, that's unheard of for them. But I think what Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook have done, they have just completely committed themselves to playing full-time, all-out defense. And you see the difference it makes. You know, they're both obviously still in their prime. They're both great athletes and both have the capability to play that type of defense. Now, when you have so much offensive responsibility, sometimes it's not easy. But they have just done that. And to me, again, that's what's impressed me. They've always been able to score. But to make Golden State look at times confused on the offensive end, it's stunning. It's stunning to see.
Well, I said it in the first segment of the show, Mike, that Oklahoma City is just a long team. And they just seem to keep sending one long guy after another on the perimeter, all the way down to Andre Roberson, who fouled out last night. But it just seems that they're smothering these guys at the three-point arc and not allowing, forget the shot, the passing that we're normally used to seeing from Golden State. And that's been confounding them, too, it appears to me.
Yeah, no, there's no question. And, Ibaka's kind of back into the rhythm. And, again, it's committing to playing defense on every possession. And if you don't do that against Golden State, they easily find a rhythm, and before you know it, you have no shot. But they've just disrupted that rhythm time in and time out. And even last night, as Golden State with desperation, and had the big lead, they were still able to disrupt the rhythm a little bit. So it's been impressive. And the other thing too is the matchups and not afraid to go small against them, but occasionally going big. And to me, that's been one of the interesting parts of the whole playoffs, not just these series, but the fact that everybody likes to play small ball, yet you've seen a number of coaches switch mid-series.
Yes.
And go big, and it's been effective. And not be afraid to play a guy every second of a fourth quarter in one game, and he doesn't play a minute in the fourth quarter of the next game. It's been interesting to watch the chess matches with the coaches.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, there was almost a Reggie Miller suiting up moment last night in the last 90 ticks of that game. All of a sudden...
Well, that was... anytime people sometimes make fun of me because I'll rarely say this one's over early, even if it's, a 15-point lead with 7 minutes to go, and that's because I witnessed Reggie Miller firsthand. So you get burned on that once, you'll try and never get burned again.
Well, I mean, if Durant had hit that three with, I believe, about 30 seconds to go, that really would have made things really tight.
Yeah, would have cut it to three, and I think there were even a little more than that. So they were going to get the ball back if they got a stop. So it was crazy.
Well, I mean, we've talked also about Big East basketball, you and I, a couple of times on this show, and it's just seeing Billy Donovan out there on a sideline, having an opportunity to match Larry Brown as the only guys with an NCAA tournament and NBA championship is really remarkable, Mike. I mean, you've seen this guy play and now coach. What is this like from your perspective?
Well, I think there's no question, and he'll be the first to admit it, that I don't want to use the word overwhelmed, but it wasn't easy early on because, this was an established team that had played together. Their core had played together. They had a coach that brought them a lot of success and a coach that they really liked. Russell Westbrook and Scott Brooks had this great relationship, and Westbrook's not the easiest guy to coach because of just his style of play and trying to calm him down once in a while. So, but he didn't come in there thinking, I'm the guy. I won championships in college. I know what I'm. He really came in with humility and let the guys get comfortable with him first. He still does. He asked them lots of questions. And then the other thing that's, it's a little underplayed is his number one assistant, Monty Williams, is gone from the bench because of the tragedy with his wife. Yet he just, he's obviously a quick learner to the NBA game, and he's one of those coaches that has switched back and forth with guys, with rotations, with matchups. It's been so impressive, and you can see why he was so successful. The guy he's got a great demeanor and a basketball mind.
All right, Mike, I know you're not in the predicting business, but if I gave you a choice of which conference finals is more apt to go to a seventh game, which one do you think, West or East?
I haven't the slightest idea. Before last night, I may have said to you Toronto and Cleveland, but I just don't know. It's been the most unpredictable postseason. What I'll say on the series that I've been covering is Toronto. It really is like two different people, home and away, and I expect them to, to play really well. I expect the fans to go crazy. Kyrie Irving admitted he was a little rattled by the noise in Game 3 because they're just this hungry fan base. So it's been cool to watch. So I think for Cleveland to win tonight, they're going to have to shoot a really high percentage and play a great game because Toronto is going to be ready to go.
Mike, look forward to the call, and if I can get you back on during the finals in a busy schedule, I'd love that too.
You got it, Rich. Always a pleasure.
Thank you. Same to you. That's Mike Breen of ESPN.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.